May as well just run through the preview. We are looking forward to Rampage tonight, as Rampage is, as Friday is around, and that means it's Rampage Day, but also it is WrestleMania weekend. I was not going to not do the preview for Rampage, even with WrestleMania this weekend, but we got the lineup tonight for Rampage, as Takeshita is back in action against Sammy Guevara. Sammy was last seen, to my knowledge, in the Pillars segment on Dynamite, the Rebar Mitzvah for MJF. And Sammy, much like the others, has proven himself a lot over the last 3 years, but he's still gotta take that next step. He's still gotta move a little bit forward. And I'm not saying a win against Takeshita would do that, but wins help more than losses do as far as moving up the card, even though it does look like Jungle Boy may have the spotlight against MJF first. But that's just my perspective on it. Kings of the Black Throne, which I do believe are Brody King and Malachi Black, are in tag team action tonight against the Best Friends, Marina Shafir and Taya Valkyrie. As Marina Shafir, I do believe Marina Shafir was, were with Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero? Or maybe she was with Jade Cargill. I'm not really sure how Marina Shafir fits in. But either way, Taya Valkyrie continues to build momentum as she looks to be the next challenger for Jade Cargill's TBS Championship, and maybe the one with the best chance of ending what has been an undefeated streak for the ages from the TBS champion. Also, what should be an interesting match, as Juice Robinson has had problems in recent weeks with Ricky Starks, so it is only fitting that Juice Robinson goes against Ricky Starks' friend, Action Andretti. Action Andretti and Ricky Starks fought collectively against the JAS for months and months and months and months, and that's why it is only fitting that Juice Robinson goes against Action Andretti. But as we also broke down last week, or over the past week, next week on Dynamite is a spectacular show planned. There is a spectacular show planned next week on Dynamite with multiple championship matches, including a title defense from Women's Champion Jamie Hayter against Riho, and the highly anticipated tag team title match, FTR versus the Guns. If FTR loses, then FTR is gone from AEW. And we get our answer of what happens when FTR's contracts are up. And then we get our answer with what happens when FTR's contract's up. FTR is out the door of AEW. But that is only if FTR lose to the Guns next Wednesday night on Dynamite. So that is going to be a spectacular night in Long Island, New York. For AEW, as it should be a hot crowd, and you will figure that you gotta see the hometown hero, MJF, also featured on that show in some form or fashion, because MJF is always willing to visit his hometown audience. But again, that's two championship matches on free television. It's something you don't want to miss next week on Dynamite. But you got to figure that that Jade Cargill are going to be watching Taya Valkyrie's match, and that Ricky Starks is going to be more than willing to jump in and help his good friend Action Andretti against Juice Robinson, as the last time we saw Juice and Ricky Starks, it was a brawl around the arena. As they are building up, I don't know if they're building up to Forbidden Door 2, because last I heard, Juice Robinson is not a member of the New Japan roster. So I don't know if they're building up to Forbidden Door 2, or maybe they're building up to or maybe they're building up to Double or Nothing, or maybe they're building up to both, because Double or Nothing is not too long before Forbidden Door, with Double or Nothing in May and Forbidden Door in June. But I mean, that's what these shows are, and I think to a degree AEW has done a better job this year. I mean, I could be wrong. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. But I think AEW has done a better job this year about trying, at least, to create an identity for Rampage. Because it feels like you see talent on Rampage that you don't normally see on Dynamite. Like Taya Valkyrie, since her debut, outside of appearing and confronting Jade Cargill, has been featured on Rampage. The House of Black, featured on Rampage. Takeshita oftentimes is featured on Rampage. I mean, it's weird not seeing Mr. Rampage, Orange Cassidy, defending the International Championship on Rampage. But I do think that to a degree, the identity that Rampage has established is being the brand that sees talent on it that don't normally get the TV time on Dynamite. And that is why over the summer, when the new show comes up, AEW should immediately try and find a different sound for the show, maybe get a different announcer, and not include Excalibur, but also go for a different appeal and a different identity from the outset for that show, because otherwise they're going to have the same problem they do with Rampage and not have an identity for the brand. But I think AEW has done a better job this year, thus far, establishing a brand for Rampage. But if you're looking for wrestling tonight and you don't want Ring of Honor's not on yet, Ring of Honor's done, AEW Rampage, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. Sammy Guevara, Takeshita, Kings of the Black Throne Best Friends, Valkyrie versus Shafir, and Juice Robinson versus Action Andretti. It should be an interesting night of wrestling on I don't know why I always forget what on TBS tonight for AEW Rampage, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, as I always say, if you're looking for wrestling, SmackDown, Ring of Honor, and AEW all have programming tonight, one way or the other. You got a lot to look forward to. It's Super Bowl season. See you in the next one.